Good evening, everyone, and happy New Year's Eve. So it's 6:31 Eastern Time, and I thought that I would revisit one of my own videos. And then TJ Preps and I were talking earlier. She come across something, and from there I started clicking on things, and well, I've got 9 tabs open, including my StreamYard. Okay, so we're going to start with sharing my video. So we're going to sit through that. And I may fast forward or pause or, and then we have 2, 4, 6, 8 taps to press on, and they won't be too long. So sit tight and let's get to this. Gonna share my screen. And there's so many tabs. I don't know how people do this, but we are going to share the first one, and that is of my video. Make sure that the quality is good, and we're gonna make it big. And we'll see how that looks. Okay.
Extraterrestrial event. Higher dimension. We have many theories.
This just came in from Hubble. There's some kind of force pulling at Saturn's rings.
I've been digging holes for 30 years. I've never seen anything like it.
Of aggression, and you will have to act. Do not let your emotions control you. You have the gift of aggression, and you will have to act.
Okay, so if y'all can still hear me, this is there is no sound through this part. I had a song called Stand By Me by Key Theory in there, and due to copyright, I had to remove the music. So I'm going to see if I can fast forward this a little bit without messing things up too much, because that's how I do. Okay.
Musical cult control. 432 Hz versus 440 Hz. What I am about to tell you might change the way you listen to music forever. Around 1885, the Music Commission of the Italian government declared that all instruments and orchestras should use a tuning fork that vibrated at 440 Hz, which was different from the original standard of 432 Hz used in France and throughout most of the world. In 1917, the American Federation of Musicians endorsed the Italians and began tuning in 440 Hz. Interestingly, in 1917, the United States officially entered World War I. Then in 1953, a worldwide agreement was signed between all nations. This frequency became the standard ISO 16 reference for tuning of all musical instruments. This tone standard is now accepted all over the world. It remains a mystery why this frequency was chosen in the first place. In fact, there are many people who disagree with this standard. They consider the 440 Hz middle A to be an abomination against nature. There are indeed clues that points to 432 Hz as a more natural frequency for the correct middle A, also known as Verdi's A, a pure tone of math fundamental to nature and is mathematically consistent with the patterns of the universe, vibrating with pi and the golden ratio. What is 440 Hz? 440 Hz is the unnatural standard tuning frequency removed from the symmetry of sacred vibrations and overtones. There is a theory that the change from 432 Hz to 440 Hz was dictated by Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. Apparently, he used it to make people think and feel a certain manner, and to make them a prisoner of their own consciousness. In a paper entitled Musical Cult Control, Dr. Leonard Horowitz writes, "The music industry features this imposed frequency that is herding populations into greater aggression, psychosocial agitation, and emotional distress, predisposing people to physical illness. Believe me, they know exactly what they are doing. They are successfully lowering the vibrations of not only the young generation, but the rest of us as well. If one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer. Confucius. You just have to go out into the street and take a look around. What do you see? School kids, young adults on their way to work, and what do they all have in common? iPhones or MP3 players. Ingenious, isn't it? These destructive frequencies entertain the thoughts towards destruction, disharmony, and disunity. They also stimulate the controlling organ of the body and the brain into disharmonious resonance, which ultimately creates mind control. Some suspect that the Rockefeller Foundation had an interest in making sure that the United States adopted the 440 Hz standard as part of a war on consciousness, leading to musical cult control. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. We have been left the method of counting and measurement, and the importance of dividing a unit by 12 seems to be the main rule given that has been adopted by humanity. Here are some of the ways that I found 12 to be an important number. 12 months of the year, 12 hours of a clock, 12 inches to the foot, 12 apostles of Christ, 12 constellations of the zodiac, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 knights of the round table, and there's much more. What happens when you divide today's music standard of A 440 Hz by 12? 440 Hz divided by 12 equals
36.66666666666667.
So what happens when you divide A 432 Hz, known as Verdi's A, an alternative tuning that is mathematically consistent with the universe, by 12? 432 Hz divided by 12 equals just 36. I heard it said perfectly that 440 Hz is pretending to be sacred geometry.
What I'm saying to you is you should give it to somebody that don't know any better, because that's a fugazi.
Alright? 440 Hz is the closest one can come to the real thing, while still being an imposter. 432 Hz divided by 12 equals 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 432 Hz equals 369. There are two ways of expressing the same thing. Next, let's look further into how the 432 Hz frequency is in time itself. Is our number system and method of timekeeping entirely based on 432 Hz, 9-base mathematics? How many seconds are in 12 hours? 43,200. That's 432. Divide or multiply a whole unit by 12. So 60 seconds times 12 equals 43,200 seconds. 36 times 12 equals 432. 36.666 times 12 equals 440. Interesting, isn't it? They are all related. They are perfect musical overtones of one another. Now check this out using vortex-based mathematics. 1 times 12 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 times 12 equals 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 2 times 12 equals 24. 3 times 12 equals 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 4 times 12 equals 48. 4 plus 8 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 5 times 12 equals 60. 6 plus 0 equals 6. 6 times 12 equals 72. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Now if you keep on going, you'll notice that our number system is all 3, 6, and 9, repeating forever. The numerical coincidences are too compelling. All over the world and for thousands of years, humanity has received certain number sequences. 108, 144, 360, 369, 432, 1080. But why? What is it about these numbers that jars something so deep within us that we incorporate them into our myths and spiritual beliefs? The answer could be in frequency harmonics. We measure sound frequencies and vibration cycles per second, and the numbers listed above, when played as frequencies, just happen to mirror the exact harmonic patterns found in nature. Music based on 432 Hz transmits beneficial healing energy because it is a pure tone of math fundamental to nature. Classical music such as Beethoven was created using 432 Hz, and research shows that this type of music helps plants grow faster and healthier. 432 Hz is a harmonic of light frequency. It speaks and resonates directly with our cells. All cells communicate with each other via infrared light. So imagine, when they receive music in 432 Hz, they are in joy. The conscious mind may not be aware of this, but most of what goes on in our bodies is subconscious. Sound in the air may be defined as the transfer of periodic movements between adjacent colliding atoms or molecules. Research says that music tuned from this frequency is easier to listen to, brighter, clearer, and contains more inherent dynamic range. As a result, music with this tuning does not need to be played at higher volumes, and this reduces the risk of hearing damage. Cosmic harmonious frequencies related to the 432 Hz frequency and its importance in the creation of physical reality from light and sound. Is it possible that over the course of thousands of years, we have somehow been guided in the process of creating this new form of communication? And if so, what type of information will we learn from it that could not be expressed in any other way? The underlying primary psychic reality is so inconceivably complex that it can be grasped only at the farthest reach of intuition, and then but very dimly. That is why it needs symbols. This is the biggest mystery. This universal truth was not available to the people of this planetary system. It is now finally being received on this planet by deep seekers of the truth and ready to receive it. Throughout history, numerous clues and hints regarding geometry and frequency have been staring at us, calling to us, and waiting for us to put them into place like pieces of a giant jigsaw puzzle. Here at the dawn of a new age, this sonic geometric puzzle is finally nearing completion, revealing the building blocks of a language based on energy, frequency, and form. Now, how do we tell the rest of the world that we need to reset the international concert pitch back to 432 Hz? Many people might say that this is nothing and barely noticeable, but why would they go through so much trouble to have this frequency change worldwide when some of the greatest classical music was created using 432 Hz? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
So then I got thinking about that little nursery rhyme that we used to sing. 3, 6, 9, the goose drank wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. The line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to heaven in a little rowboat. The line broke. The line broke. Okay. So I did that video 5 months ago. I could put that in the description, or you can go under the, I think it's under the apocalyptic zombies and aliens playlist. I was wondering, the water jumping, okay, with sound, and up to 60% of the body, adult, is water. The brain and heart are composed of 73% water, and the lungs are about 83% water. Lungs, 83%. The brain and heart, 73%. I wanted to reiterate on those. The skin contains 64% water. Muscles and kidneys are about 79% water, and even the bones are water, yet 31%. It's a lot of water. So why is the body made up of 70% of water? Some people say 71. You know, the body ranges between there and around 75%. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is, hold on. This one. All right, let me share my screen again. We're just gonna go through these tabs one by one. Actually, let's see, Chrome. This one right here I want to bring up first, due to the song that I didn't really sing, but talked about in that video. 369, the goose drank wine. It's a clapping rhyme. The lyrics and video example. So that's where that was, and this I will also link in the description. Also, inside Nikola Tesla, let me just share my screen again. Okay. He had a obsession and the unusual theories that spawned with 369. He had a fascination with the magnificence of the numbers 3, 6, and 9 continues to inspire those who believe the numbers will help them manifest their desires. So, yeah. When you're a genius, you tend to hold things that others don't. Nikola Tesla did. He envisioned the potential of electricity far before his contemporaries. So, is it possible that Nikola Tesla's 369 theory of the universe holds water? Or is it merely evidence of Tesla's obsessive nature? So, I'm not going to go ahead and read all that, but I will link it. I'll do the best I can to link everything. Everything's in my email, so. Okay, getting back to where TJ brought up something, and then a subscriber of mine, Country Living, I'm going to share my screen again. So this is September 2006, Applied Biochemistry and Biotechnology. So there's some downloads and some different people listed, and electric fields and the influence of extremely low frequencies. I failed to show you in the Tesla thing that I just had up, but they actually mentioned it, is that they can be negative or positive effects with sounds. So the exposure time of electromagnetic induction were varied. So I will also link this as well. The living microorganisms, it goes on to, there's just a lot of information. TJ will also be bringing some more up. The effect of radio frequency radiation from telecommunication base station and microbial diversity and antibiotic resistance. So that's a thing. And then they have all these gigahertz and the stimulation, and they have cell viability. It actually affects everything that is alive. Funguses, bacterias, everything. People. All right, so we're gonna drop that one. And this is where it gets really weird. All right, I'm gonna skip over here and then I'll go through the other tabs. Synthetic telepathy, the hidden truth. The following article is an entry that appeared on Wikipedia. All right, there's something I actually want to mention about Wikipedia. It changes. It collects data like an AI system. This is my opinion. Take it for what you will, but over the course of the past couple of years, I've been watching Wikipedia change its information. It's constantly changing with us humans. Yeah, like one time when Wikipedia changed its mind on what the word preppers meant. Yeah, it basically was word for word taking everything that our whole community was saying and sticking it into like a couple of paragraphs. That was creepy. All right, let's see. So I'm not going to say this, but I will highlight it if I can. It's not letting me. There we go. Within the last 24 hours, a major, that word there, broke out, and it appeared, at least to me, that the information was being suppressed. The article goes into depth about a field of espionage that employs a technology known as silent sound, synthetic telepathy. Yeah. So I'm not going to read this whole article, but I want to just let you guys know that this exists. $4 million. Yeah. So, quiet part from linguistics information, images have been extracted from the brain. Research at Japan's ATR neuroscience laboratories. And I want to bring up real quick on how what's his face over there is making chips for the human brain. Elon Musk. And then 5G is about to fully roll out. So the military uses. So the reason I'm going through these rather quick is because I'm getting to some things that concerned me even more so than those, which those are pretty concerning. This one. I mean, what is this? Make sure you guys can see that. Why is there a download for military use of silent sound? Electric harassment silent sound spread spectrum. Okay, that was in March 28th, 2011. So there's links here that you can click. If I click them, it'll actually take me out of this. Stalking and electronic harassment in terms designed to inform and the unaware general public. Military use of silent sound technology. And like I said, there's a link. Then you got this one. Mind control with silent sound and supercomputers. Commercial. So it came to when I had talked to Peanut not long ago, and then I talked to TJ. I remember back in the late 90s, early 20s. I was driving in my car, and I remember hearing like a telephone ringing or something in my vehicle, and I had the music on, so I turned the music down, and I stopped hearing it. I turned my music back up, and I could hear this ringing like a telephone. Well, then 2000 hits, and I start hearing other weird sounds, like not just telephones, but like really low, like tones and high tones of like hums and just weird sounds. And I would always be like wondering what they were, but certain sounds made me very alert and anxious, like So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna get to this one. Then by clicking some of these things that were in the other articles, I came to these. Let me just see which one this is. No, that's not the one I want. We'll get there though. All right, so stop sharing screen on that one. I want to get to the one in the beginning here. Let's try this one. No, that's the same one we just tried. Sorry guys, bear with me. All right, so there's this Hexen 2039. I don't know if that's a date, like is in a year, or if it's just numbers. Okay. So Hexen 2039, new military occult technologies for psychological, yeah, you read it here, right there. Yep. So neuroscience. Nerve cells rely on electricity. They are the genes that they contain, may also be affected by electromagnetic emissions. I mean, just look at this background of this site. They can be influenced both by many kinds of molecules and by electrochemical stimuli. Physical influences include radioactivity, electromagnetic radiation, encompassing visual images, temperature changes, magnetic fields, and quantum effects. Until someone comes up with the empirically testable counterclaim, the assumption that all brain-changing influences act at base by changing brain electrochemistry is likely to remain secure. Our sense of freedom may be a basic emotional reaction, but its association with particular abilities to speak our minds, go where we please, and so on, are learned connections. The trick is to disable the brain's alarm signal by breaking the connection or preventing them forming in the first place, so that the reactance is no longer triggered when, for example, the right to free speech is infringed. Then there will be no emotion reaction, no fire to be damped down or stomped out by force. At present, our methods are slow, imprecise, repeatedly playing down the value of the freedom in question, emphasizing potential threats which make the freedom unsustainable, offering enjoyable distractions, and so on. In the future, we may possess alternative methods, giving us, or those who control us, the power to pinpoint an association's neural source and tidily remove it from our minds. So the cognitive web of mental thoughts, hopes, beliefs, desires, assumptions, and the reactant's negative emotional state triggered by a perceived threat to personal freedom, which can motivate extremely vigorous defense action. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen again to the next page. Hopefully I get the right one this time. Okay. Yeah, and that is the mind. All right, that's the right one. The mind altering mechanism is based on subliminal carrier technology, the silent sound spread spectrum, SSSS, sometimes called S-Squad or Squad. It was developed by Oliver Lowry of Norcross, Georgia, and is described in patent number 5159703. Silent subliminal presentation system dated October 27th, 1992. I know that I just read that, but the graphic illustration induced alpha to the biofeedback cluster movement, which accompanies the literature is labeled, and this is unclassified. There's a lot of reading here, so silent carrier frequencies and will silently trigger the occurrence of the same basic emotion in other human being. One more. Let's see. Okay. All right. Last night I did a creepy video with deer and front facing eyes and all that. And yeah. And I showed this, what do you call it? So I'm not sure what this is, but it's a patent. It's for silent hypnosis. Brainwave signal cluster to be played piggybacked onto ordinary radio and TV carrier frequencies. Stimulated remotely at the same time, psychic brainwaves frequencies are produced in the subject, which allow incoming invasive mind-controlling brainwaves clustering at high level of access. There's a patent on this stuff. And I believe, I said the date, I believe it was 1992. Of course, we all know that this has gone way back. So I will link all of those from my email into the description of this video. There's more to this. I think we know that. But I'm going to end it here for now. And maybe we can talk about it soon. All right. Y'all have a great night. God bless.